Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. I'm bringing you guys week 11 of the NPA. The Minnesota Vikavolts are taking on the Montreal Toucannadiens and SleepingKnight 77. My man Kyle, should be a good matchup here. The team builders are back after a few weeks of me just being like super busy and just crazy stuff happening, so I wasn't able to do like proper team builders, but they're back here for the last couple weeks of the season as we just have 2 matches left. The Toucannadiens have had a rough go about it this season. They're 2 wins, 7 losses. I'm not sure what happened with their week 11 match, so I don't know if they won or lost, but nevertheless, 2 wins, 7 losses. We are sitting at a nice 8-2. We've already clinched our playoff spot, but I would like to finish the season 10-2. That's my goal. So he's got a really cool team though, despite the fact that he hasn't had the best record. He does have some big threats that are kind of problematic against my team. So let's talk about him, kind of what I think he's going to bring and so on and so forth. So he's got the Necrozma, of course, which is much improved with the move tutors that it could always set up. You have to be careful with its weakness policy sets and things like that. Very, very bulky, does hit pretty hard from the special side, and it can be mixed. But you know, the specially offensive one is generally better. He's got a Cloister, which is always scary because if it sets up a shell smash, that can kind of destroy your team. So you got to be really careful about shell smashing Cloister. You know, that's its main threat. It can also set hazards and stuff with like spikes and toxic spikes or whatever, or toxic spikes and stuff. So got to be careful there. It's also a rapid spinner, but generally its main threat is the fact that it can shell smash. He's got the Electros, which is just a really bulky Pokemon with the Assault Vest generally. Does have some good coverage options like Giga Drain and Drain Punch and stuff like that. Guzzlord, another Pokemon with an incredible HP stat. Offensively, it leaves a bit to be desired, but it is pretty bulky, and you'll see it with an Assault Vest. Very slow Pokemon, but nevertheless can hit pretty hard. Gotta be careful there. He's got the Escavalier, which is a bulky steel and bug type Pokemon. Very, very slow, but hits very, very hard. Pursuit is a thing that it runs. Can also be just like really offensive, like you know, Iron Head and Megahorn and knockoff Drill Run. Shiftry is a defogger, but generally you see it kind of often in Sun teams, which he doesn't really have. Shiftry is just a, you know, grass and dark Pokemon with decent offensive stats, but again, it's relatively slow and it doesn't hit super hard, so it's kind of one of those niche Pokemon. Mega Gardevoir, of course, the biggest threat on this team in my opinion. Mega Gardevoir just hits incredibly hard with that Pixelate Hyper Voice. It also can fire off like Psyshocks and stuff like that. Trick Room Mega Gardevoir is a thing too, but generally you'll see it like, you know, offensive, like, you know, with a max speed. Dugtrio is very scary because it can trap my Pokemon on my team, specifically Victini and Mawile. Dugtrio can be kind of annoying. It's super fast, sitting at 120 speed, I believe. So you got to be really, really careful when you deal with Dugtrio, just because it's, like I said, it's super duper fast. Yeah, I'm looking at like the stats. Oh yeah, 120 speed. And it obviously has an attack buff, basically in the newest gen. Politoed can set up the Drizzle, sets up the Rain, which for his team is kind of weird. Like it does help out Cloister and it helps out his Cavalier with its weaknesses, but generally Rain doesn't fit on this team too well, so not exactly like the most sensical option there in my opinion. He's got the Monferno, which is a cool little dude. I love Infernape, but Monferno is not quite as good. It can be decently offensive and kind of bulky with Eviolite and setup, but it's not like the hugest threat in the world. And then Kricketune, which is mainly for sticky webs. I mean, that's really the only reason why you'd bring Kricketune, is to set sticky webs. So in terms of the things that I think he's gonna bring, I think Gardevoir, Necrozma, Dugtrio all make a lot of sense to start. I think Cloister has a potential bring. I could see Electros, I could see Guzzlord, Escavalier, and even maybe Politoed, but not expecting Shiftry, Kricketune, and Inferno unless that's like something fancy he's gonna run. So, and just kind of looking at his team and what he's brought Necrozma to 7 games. Everything else is pretty spaced out though. He seems to try to use a lot of different things, and honestly, he's kind of out of the running like I mentioned before, so I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to mix some things up and bring some funky stuff. So let's talk about our team and what we're bringing and why we're bringing it. I'm gonna kick things off with Mega Mawile here. As you can expect, this is just an offensive Mega Mawile. Got a lot of speed on there. The speed is for things like Electros, just to ensure we're gonna outspeed that generally. I believe I even have speed for I want to say Politoed is what the speed's for. I got 180 speed on there, so just to kind of creep over some of his slower stuff. Sucker Punch is huge for Dugtrio, but generally this thing is a great switch into Gardevoir, just because, you know, Gardevoir can't really do too much to me. You know, I resisted dual stab and I can really threaten something out. But yeah, the speed is there for things like Electros and stuff. Guzzlord as well, so obviously we can hit some things really hard. I initially had Substitute on this because I felt like Substitute was really good against him, but Fire Fang is a little bit more security to take on the Escavalier, which is kind of a problem for the team. And I've got, you know, a decent amount of attack, decent amount of speed, and then the rest of it's actually thrown into our defense, which helps us against the Dugtrio set, basically. The next Pokemon is kind of cool. I'm bringing a Water-type Silvally this week. Thunderbolt, Water, Flamethrower, Parting Shot, Defog. I felt like a Water-type Silvally was kind of necessary in this matchup. for the main reason that I'm really concerned about the Cloister. I felt like the team that I built was really, really solid, but if he set up a shell smash, he could potentially just win the game there. So as kind of a fail-safe, I decided to bring Silvally, which is mainly designed to help me not lose to Cloister. That's really its only purpose. Also, it gives me a backup check if he does set up sticky webs. I can remove them, but generally, like I said, this thing's main job, its primary purpose is to stop Cloister from winning the game. It's got max HP, good amount of defense, a little bit of speed, you know, just enough speed, basically to outspeed. I think it's probably like Politoed and Shiftry, and I think Cloister prior to Shell Smashing was kind of, maybe Necrozma too. So yeah, that was kind of our thought process there. The next Pokemon has been one of our best all season. It is our Emma Frostier, our Ninetales, rocking the Light Clay. This thing is designed to basically get up that Aurora Veil. His defogging options are very limited, basically Shiftry, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, getting up Aurora Veil seems like a really good strategy against him. Encore is really nice for Necrozma if he tries to set up with like Calm Minds or something. I can just Encore him into those. Same with Cloister and stuff. Moonblast is there for Guzzlord, and Blizzard just hits things really hard. You know, I obviously could have ran Freeze Dry for Politoed and for you know, mainly Politoed, but I felt like Moonblast would suffice. So we are he could also run that Politoed as a way to kind of, you know, stop me from setting up, you know, Aurora Veils and stuff, which could be a good strategy on his part. So I'll be pretty aware of that Politoed and just making sure that I can handle it. And that's another nice thing about Silvally, is being a water type. I generally can take on Politoed pretty well. The next Pokemon is going to be our Salamence here. This thing is primed to sweep this week. I feel like Salamence can actually just win this game if I get a Dragon Dance up. I'm running a lot of bulk on this thing. Max attack, enough speed for things like Necrozma. I'm not going to try to speed tie the Gardevoir because regardless, I don't want to stand on the thing anyway. With Stealth Rock's damage or a little bit of chip damage on the Gardevoir, we actually do one-shot it after +1 with Earthquake, which is nice to note. But this thing's job, like I said, is to get up a Dragon Dance and win the game. If I can get Aurora Veil up, that's really easy to do. Otherwise, there's a lot of things that we can set up on, in my opinion, you know what I mean? Like, we can set up on something like a weakened Politoed. We can set up on something like a Necrozma, or like, you know, some of the weaker stuff, even Electros. You know, he's gonna probably go for an HP Ice if he's weakened a little bit. I've got the Yachi Berry to protect me, and then once I get a kill, we're +2 attack, and we're gonna outspeed everything on his team. So, again, Cloister is a problem there, because he probably has Ice Shard, so he can stop that. But again, Yachi Berry is there for that too. So, you know, I really feel like Salamence is an opportunity to potentially sweep this game mid to late game. We've got our Victini here coming back. I got the Shed Shell Victini this week, which is designed to help me against the Dugtrio. You know, he thinks he traps me with Dugtrio, and then I switch out. I go into my Salamence on the Earthquake, and then Salamence is just chilling there. Looking really, really good to click Dragon Dance against Dugtrio, because even if he goes for like a rock move, it's not like it's gonna knock out Salamence anyway. So I really, really like this Victini set here, just the Shed Shell. I got Hasty Nature to increase our speed. Again, same kind of deal. We're running the same speed as Salamence. We've got a little bit of attack, but max HP. That's to allow us to take on the Gardevoir pretty effectively. This thing is my Gardevoir response. You know, I can take the Psychic and the Fairy type moves from Gardevoir. It also serves a good defensive response to his Necrozma, and just a couple other things. V-Create there, because it's gonna one-shot the Gardevoir. Dazzling Gleam for his Guzzlord. And Toxic is just really nice because I can Toxic things like Necrozma, like Politoed on the switch in and stuff like that. So I felt like Victini is really, really solid in this match. And then last but not least, if Salamence can't win this game, I think Virizion can. Virizion outspeeds the entirety of his team minus Dugtrio. I don't know if he's gonna bring an Aerial Ace Dugtrio. If he does not, Virizion pretty much just wins. Gracium Z Leaf Blade is a nuke to Necrozma. Even defensive Necrozma doesn't want to take that. Close combat hits pretty much everything else. I've got Swords Dance on there to boost our attack and hopefully prime ourselves for a sweep. And then we've got Quick Attack. Quick Attack is kind of an awesome option there to take on something that may be speed boosted, or mainly the Dugtrio, which obviously can potentially, you know, outspeed us and go for Aerial Ace. So I really liked our Virizion set this week, and I felt like I have all the right pieces. You know, key to the game is really, if I can get Aurora Veil up and then set up with something, that's going to be clutch. But, you know, just using our pivots and you know, hopefully, you know, using Mawile effectively to like weaken his team, you know, kind of use Victini defensively to check a couple things in Silvally. And then if I can get a Royvale up, you know, it looks like Salamence can sweep, or even Virizion can sweep the game. In terms of things that I left out of the match, Seismitoad actually looked kind of cool just because it can handle a couple different things, but I felt like I just had better options this week. Rotom was actually gonna be brought. I really felt like Rotom was a really, really good bring. You know, just an offensive Rotom, like maybe Colberberry or something could have been really cool, because I could have burned a couple different things and I was immune to the Earthquake and I couldn't be trapped from Dugtrio and so on and so forth, but I kind of opted for the Silvally Water, really. It was Rotom on the team and then I switched into Silvally Water because, again, you can see how my team is weak to Cloyster. Like, if Cloyster gets up a Shell Smash, my entire team kind of gets bodied, so Silvally Water gives me a really, really good response to that. And then I left out Sharpedo. Sharpedo could have been really good. You know, obviously it has the ability to break through a lot of his offensive threats, Necrozma and Gardevoir particularly, but he's gonna have to prepare for it, but at the same time, like, I just felt like I just had better options. Sandslash to me didn't really make a lot of sense in this match, although with Hail it could have been pretty effective. Now that I think about it, it would have been tough to get through the Cloyster and the Necrozma, but and actually the Politoed too. And then Weezing. Weezing has been an awesome member of the team, but this week, it just with him having 2 Psychic types, and then, you know, Politoed can be really offensive as well, you know, stuff like that, it just didn't really fit. So that's our squad, man, going for the win here. I would like to be 9-2 when all is said and done. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that like button down below. The match is going up tomorrow. That's gonna be it for me, guys. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. Thanks so much for checking out my last video. If you like that one, you'll definitely like this one. And be sure to subscribe for more as I post Pokemon videos every single day.